as we get going, I'm going to talk about special teams, okay, and kind of big picture. That's what this is, the 7 points up there on how to plan for success. And then what I want to focus on today, and we'll use kickoff as an example, is how to have drill progression, okay? So not just come up with 100 different drills and do them all once to show the kid how much you know, okay, but how to pick your handful of things and then progress them through the season. So I'll show you how we did that last year with the Argonauts, and then how it looks on game film. So that's what we're going to do here. But when you are planning for success, these are some things that I believe in. You guys can welcome to take whatever you want from here. I'm sure you've got your own ideas as well. But at least on special teams, if not the whole team, the number one thing we want to do is win with them. Okay, you can develop that with your the culture of your team. Okay, you want people with 100% effort, 100% of the time. I got that from Vince Lombardi, and that's something that I believe in and preach all the time. Okay, to the extent that with the Eskimos, we have that as one of our mantras on the wall. Okay, but the players know that it's 100% effort, 100% of the time, and that's in the meeting room, that's in the classroom. If it's a varsity or a university team, okay, it's on the field and off the field. All right, you want to be doing things with 100% effort, 100% of the time, okay, and you want to set that standard of operation. So when you set that standard of operation, everyone on the team knows exactly what's expected of them. And if you have that, people will rise to a high level, okay? If you don't set a standard, they will sink to a low level for the most part. All right, so you want to set the standard that no matter who is playing, okay, they understand what's expected of them, and as the roster rotates and different things like that, then everyone understands what's going on. Second point, coach fundamentals. That's what we're going to talk about today, okay? We've increased that over the last couple of years, kind of less scheme, more fundamentals, but here's what we want to understand, is you have to teach them, okay? You have to teach them. You can't tell them, all right? You can't tell somebody what to do and then ask them why they're not doing it when you haven't taught them, okay? So you got to teach it. You got to tell them exactly what to do. You have to show them how to do it. You have to film, okay, or you can demo it, all right? And you have to tell them why it's going to be effective and why it's going to be allow them to be successful. And after you teach it, you got to rep it, all right? If you're going to teach something, they have to practice it. They have to feel it. You can't just be once and expect them to get it. You got to rep it all the time. And once you rep it, you got to review it with them. Let them see it. If you're able to film, let them see it. If not, have them, and I do this all the time with the young guys, is have them watch. Make sure they're watching the other guys in the drill, because they can pick up good things and bad things, so you can learn on the fly right there. And then, once you review it with them, that can't end in training camp or at the start of the season. That's got to go through the whole season, okay? You got to make sure you refer to it in game clips over and over and over. What you refer to, they will do, okay? What you refer to, they will do. And then, this is really what we're going to talk about, is have that progression on how you take your fundamental tactics to the next level. And I'll talk more about that later. The next thing is competition. All right, find ways to breed competition into your program in everything. If it's in the classroom, you're competing for grades. If it's on the practice field, you're competing in individual drill. Just the other week when we were out working with the defensive line, something as simple as when you're doing get-offs, okay, you can have them have get-off races. I only stood about 3-4 yards away from them, working on the get-off, hand out to each side, the D-line firing out. First one to tag the hand win. Okay, have winners and losers. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a sport, okay? So you can have winners and losers, find a way to compete, and then when you get that secret sauce about the players competing with each other, not only the opponent, that's what's going to elevate everyone's play, okay? Next thing is accountability. All right, when players aren't performing, you have to address it. You have to call them out, okay? It's our job as teachers and coaches to be able to find out how to do that, all right? That's the secret of teaching. You can't just yell and scream at everybody. You might be able, that might work with one player, but then with the next player, you have to take a different approach. But what I'm saying is you have to be able to address it because the other players need to know that it's going to be addressed, okay? When something is not right, just as well as when something is good, address that as well. But the players need to know it's going to be addressed. If there's something lingering and not being addressed, then it's going to filter into the rest of the team. Okay? Building football knowledge or football IQ. It's always been amazing to me just working with one group of people or one team to the next, and this is independent of the level that you're at, but the varying levels of big picture thinking in football, understanding the game, all right? And when I talk about this, I want to try to be able to get players mentally to be veterans as soon as possible. So the easiest way that I found to do that is what we refer to as the 4 phases of the play. And these 4 phases of the play, I won't talk about them too much in depth, but just to give you an idea, the first phase is we call information gathering. And that doesn't matter if it's offense, defense, special teams, that's from the whistle of the previous to end the previous play, all the way up until the snap or the kick of the football on the next play. All right, there's a ton of information you can gather there. Okay, we always talk about information. It's free, so you want the players to be able to share it with everybody else. We're talking things like down and distance, personnel, formation identification is another big thing we talk about. Time in the game, game situation, all that kind of stuff that they can gather so they understand, and that helps them anticipate what to expect. The next phase is recognition. Okay, that's the first second and a half of the play. So now, from your information gathering, is what you anticipate happening actually happening. Okay, or do you need to make an adjustment? Is something else happening? Okay, so then that after the first second half of the play, we get to execution. Belichick talks about all the time, do your job. Okay, so do your job, make the adjustment. With Yargos last year, we talked about doing your 112. Okay, there's 12 guys on the field at a time, or 12 players, so you have to do your 112. And the 4th phase is finish, and we always finish with a sprint. So those are the 4 phases, and you can teach the game, whether it's unique plays or anything like that. You can go over, it doesn't matter if it's your team or the opponent you're preparing for, but you can help teach the game in those situations, okay? Next thing is mental toughness. I love this quote from Bill Belichick. Okay, I've heard him refer to it multiple times, but he defines mental toughness as doing what's best for the team when it may not be best for you, and that's huge on special teams. There's times every once in a while where you might have to use a star receiver or something like that. You might have to have him go run down, cover a kick, or lock down a gunner on punt return or something like that. Okay, he's not really, might not be interested in that, but can you get him to focus with 100% effort, 100% of the time on that particular job when he's asked to do it, as opposed to worrying about getting 100 yards and 2 touchdowns every game. Okay, so can you teach your players and encourage your players to be mentally tough? And then I bookend the effort and develop young players here. It's not certainly not last on this list, but to me, as far as special teams are concerned, okay, it is the special teams coordinator, whoever's working that, it's among their number 1 job to develop young players. You have to get these guys ready to play as soon as possible. And one way that I find effective to do that is building into your culture the idea that rookies or new players, young players, they must know. They must know, it has to be factual, that they have to stand out. Not just play, not just contribute, but if you can build a culture where rookies and young players know that they must stand out on special teams before they earn a starting position on offense and defense, that's just going to increase everyone's level of play. Now it's not a second thought. When they're played on special teams, which is probably going to happen before offense and defense anyway for young guys, if they're out there standing out, making plays, all right, that's going to contribute to them or complement what they do on offense and defense. So these are some things, big picture things that I refer to as far as planning for success on special teams. The next thing that I want to focus on, what are you going to do, or what are you going to hang your hat on special teams? So I picked a couple of things that we focused on over the last couple of years. This tackle quota that I'll introduce to you is something that we just did last year. In fact, it was Coach Chain's idea with the Argonauts. Okay, he implemented it on defense, and then we complemented that to make sure that we were also doing it on special teams. Okay, so you have at least more than one phase talking about something. So I'll go into detail about that. Then the other thing we'll talk about here is we have what we call a score zone punt and a win zone punt return. And then today we'll talk about the score zone kickoff. Okay, I'll get that into more detail. But as far as what we're talking about with the tackle quota, this is how we introduce it. The big picture here is you want players competing to get the most amount of tackles. All right. So this is the first week we did it, and you can see we didn't start it until game 12 last year. But in essence, what it is we took our cover team here, the kickoff in this example, and we highlight who our leading tackles are. So you'll see a lot of Beltray on the tape today. Defensive lineman, number 94, she's leading us with 14 tackles. Receiver, Canadian receiver, Levi Noel, 8 tackles. Ian Wild, consummate professional, veteran player, 11 tackles. All right, and I hear defense talk about this a lot too, is not only are you competing with the other team's offense, but you're also competing with the other team's defense, okay? You're trying to give up less points than they are. You're trying to get more sacks than they are. You're trying to get more takeaways than the opponent's defense is. So we're competing with the kickoff return team, but then we also highlight the opponent's cover team, okay? So Beltray here, you're leading us. Well, who's their leading tackler? Number 40 for the Stampeders, Holly. I think he won the Rookie of the Year last year. All right, he's leading them with 16 tackles. So right there, the players see it, and Beltray is like, okay, I got to get 2 more tackles in this game in order to tie, or I got to get 3 more in order to pass them. Then you can match up positions, right? Okay, you can look at who's the B3 for the other team. Charlie Power, big-time special team veteran for the Stampeders. He's got 10 tackles. We're already better than them there. Who's playing the 6th spot that their leading tackler is? All right, Gilchrist, that's you. All right, you've got 1 tackle in the year. You haven't been on the roster as much as he has, but here's your chance, all right? You got to do better than him. Then what we did, because it's new, you got to sell it to your players. So what we did is on the left here is a picture of the last year through 11 games, getting ready for the 12th game. That's our list of leading tacklers. So you got Beltray, Quimo, Wild, okay, right there. And then what we did was we showed them of the guys on the 2019 team that were there the previous year. This is where it ended up. So the leading tackler last year played 18 games, and he had 19 tackles, okay? Frank Beltray is already at 9 games played with 14 tackles. Then I went a year further back, okay? Levi Noel, 2 years ago in 2017, played 18 games and had 27 special teams tackles. All right, that led the team and was tied for second in the league. I want you to pay attention to that ratio right there. 18 games, 27 tackles. That's about 1.5 tackles a game. All right. Then let's see where we're at right here in the current year. This is what's going on in the league. So 2 guys from Coach Hall's Winnipeg Blue Bombers team are leading the league in tackles. 12 games played, 18 tackles. All right, 1.5 tackles a game. Frank, you're 4 tackles away from them, sitting there in 5th spot. Okay, and then we went back and saw last year, the previous year. Okay, 16 games played, 25 tackles. 15 games played, 24 tackles to lead the league. So what we came up with is in order to lead the team and be among the top 3 in the league, you need about 1.5 tackles a game. Now we've got some information that the players can run with. So we have things like at halftime, okay, we only, players got 1 tackle, okay, I got to get my quota. Second half, I got to get another tackle. Or to celebrate, already met my quota, okay, now it's time to eat in the second half. All right, so they got a number. And then what happened was, if you give something like this to the players, then they take it over, okay? So you can see Beltray, 9 games played, 14 tackles. Levi, only 9 games played, 8 tackles. And what that turned into was Beltray leading the CFL in tackles by the end of the season. In the next 7 games, okay, he got, what do you get there? 13 tackles, okay? So he ended up leading the league in special teams tackles, passing the 2 guys from Winnipeg, all right? Levi Noel went from 8 tackles to 21, 13 tackles in the last 7 games. These guys up there play for about 2 tackles a game on average. And I want to point out, because I want to show Frank some love here, because I don't think he got enough recognition last year, all right? That player right there is a defensive end. A defensive end led the league in special teams tackles. Not a linebacker, not a fullback, okay? He has, in my opinion, the best season on special teams since Dion Lacey back with Edmonton, who's now been in the NFL for the last 3 or 4 years, okay? So he had a phenomenal season dealing with double teams and all that kind of stuff. And this stuff fueled a player like that, okay? They want something to hang their hat on. The other thing that we hung our hat on is this score zone kickoff. So again, you got to sell it to the players. You got to give them the information. So just quickly here, what we did was we showed them this bottom box, what a score zone kickoff win for us is the goal is on a kickoff to pin the opponent on or inside their own 25-yard line. That's the goal. Number one, we like it because it's immediate feedback. All 12 players on the field and everyone on the bench and in the stands, for that matter, know pass or fail right away at the end of the play. You don't have to look at stats and data at the end. So you either stop them on or inside the 25-yard line or you don't, okay? And every time we did that, we tracked it. So in the last 2 seasons in Edmonton, in 2 seasons, we did that 21 times, okay? Whether it was tackling them or a penalty brought them back, those count as well. But 21 times, we stopped them, and their offense had to start a drive on or inside the -25, and that led to a grand total of 0 touchdowns on that drive. When the offense started on or inside the 25-yard line after a kickoff, they got 1 field goal, okay, in 2 years. This is 2 seasons worth of data, and then whether the defense scored, special teams scored on a return, or the offense scored on the very next drive, that led to 3 touchdowns, 5 field goals, and a safety. All right? So stopping the opponent on kickoff inside the -25-yard line, 8 times we scored, 1 field goal the opponent scored. All right? Last year, we even upped it. We focused a little bit more on it. We put some more emphasis on it. So that was, we had 13, I think that's 13. Yeah, 13 successful times in 1 season last year. 13 times the offense had to start on or inside the 25, and we had a hiccup. Okay, we had a hiccup. We gave up 1 touchdown, but 0 field goals, and that led to 3 touchdowns and 1 field goal for the Toronto football team. So in 3 seasons, 34 times we made their offense off the kickoff start on or inside the 25, and that led to 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown in 3 seasons. Okay, so now the players gravitate to that. You got 12 guys trying to get that goal, and when they get that goal, it's a big deal. You see them celebrate it on the field. So that lead right there for that 1 touchdown is just under 3%. Okay, so 3% of the time, over 3 seasons worth of data, the opponent scored a touchdown. And that led to 6 touchdowns, 6 field goals, and a safety for us. So we came up with what we want to hang our hat on. We delivered the message. We sold it to the players, and then they run with it. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, moving forward, we'll talk about that progression and drills I talked about. Okay, when we're talking progression and drills, all right, what we want to do, again, is identify what are the handful of skills or tactics that we think the players need on a particular team, all right? And then we want to emphasize and practice those all season long, okay? And we want to figure out different ways to have them do the same thing. So this is how we practice our kickoff, okay? We called it the reduction drill. And basically it's 4 moves, okay? And we relate, like Coach Sheck talked about last year, we relate a lot of our special teams play to defensive line play, okay? Or any other position for that matter to help it sink in. We were making those comparisons, all right? But what we talk about here is the first thing when you're dealing with a first level block in the sprint zone or maybe even a second level block is we want you to reduce your hitting surface, okay? We want you to reduce your hitting surface. That's why we call it the reduction drill. So what I mean by that, if I'm sprinting downfield and I have a blocker, could be a trap block or a high double team or something like that, coming at me early, I want to get as small and powerful as I can, all right, dip and rip right through it, stay on your track, and then continue on downfield, all right? You are beating a block early. You are not taking on the block because you're too far away from the football. That's what they want you to do, all right? So want to initiate contact. You're not looking to avoid. You are staying powerful, and you are sprinting and ripping right through that block. Then you have the butt side. That's the second technique, which I'm sure a lot of us, if not everyone's familiar with. All right, you can see the bag here, just so you're looking at, or if you're looking at this, in the blue, this would be the cover players. In the red, that would be the returners. And in the black here, those are guys on hand shield. And these guys are told to go to one particular cone or the other, and we have to execute that technique at that spot. So the second one here is he's going to the second cone, a little bit further downfield, so we go butt side. The thing that we emphasize with this is stem and butt side. Stem and butt side, okay? You want the blocker to think you are going one direction and then change and go the other direction. So the stem, it could be a head fake, it could be a jab step, whatever it is, but you want them to overextend and then you rip by on the butt side. So as this guy goes to the bag here, you can see the bag is tilted to our left as we look at it, which means the butt side to the right. Chances are that's where the ball's going a high percentage of the time. So we will take that jab step to the left in this picture, try to get it to overextend, and then we'll rip off and go butt side right there. Okay? Continue on, make a play on the ball carrier. Get back on your line as soon as you can. Complementing that is a stem and front side. Again, focus on the stem. All right? So blockers know that chances are the cover guy's going to try to go butt side on you, so you can use that and sell it. You can use a head fake or a jab step to go butt side, get in the stutterer's feet, all right? And then you use your reduction, get small, reduce the hitting surface, and rip through, and you're going on the front side of the blocker, okay? And then the last one in close quarters here, we relate this to our two-gap technique, okay, that I've talked to some of you about, and this is butt-crested escape. So you might focus on 2 or 3 points of contact, 2 hands with your thumbs up, elbows locked, okay, take on. If you introduce the face mask, not the top of the helmet, that would be your 3rd point of contact, all right, but you're going to take on that block, peek, or lock, peek, and shed, whether it's a rip or an arm off or whatever it might be, or it could just be a toss, and then you're going to make a play on the ball carrier. And this one here would be closer to where the ball carrier is at. You're within the last 15 yards or so of space between the return, okay? So these things here, this is what we coached on kickoff. When we practiced drills and fundamentals, this was it. And then we found some other things, like change of pace that we'll talk about, and I'll show you what that is, okay, to complement it. And now the players can practice it over and over and over and over, and they can make it their own, and they're not trying to do 100 different things. Just like an elite pass rusher. All right, you're a defensive lineman. If you've got 3 pass rush moves and you can perfect those, you can be a high-level athlete. You can be a high-level defensive end. All right, you don't need 100 different pass rush moves. So it's the same thing here on kickoff. Any questions about that? I'm trying to race through this to make sure I give you guys as much information as possible, but if you have a question, go ahead and stop me. Don't be shy. Yes.
So that point forward, like that's like the buyers in the alley where they're going to bring us up the wall through that locker.
The button press? Not exactly. That would be more like a two gap. Or sorry, no, not the virus. The virus in the alley would be the 2-gap kind of thing. Okay, but this is more a little bit further away. Okay, so you might be at 15 to 20 yards as opposed to that 5 yards where we talk about the 2-gap. But what it does, and I've got a clip on here, is it complements the 2-gap. It complements the 2-gap. So I'll show you 2 different looks. But so this is how we practice it. You can see the setup here. First thing we talked about is reduction. All right. So this is 45 here, Justin Birdman. Oh, and I want to make a point and share with you guys. Remember when I talked about developing young players? Okay. This player here, Justin Birdman, number 45, we had 2 good examples. It was him and it was Woody, okay, Woodson, he's out of Calgary, that for us, they're supposed to be part of our core special teams, okay? Part of our core elite special teams players, and we work with them and develop them, okay, and they are standing out on special teams. They're fantastic football players, and then they also complement that with their work on the defense. So both of them ended up taking starting positions on defense as Canadians, okay? He ended up starting as a middle linebacker as a Canadian, which is happening a little bit more in this league. So that's a good example of helping to develop these guys, because to me, there's nothing better than getting a new player in, helping him develop to be the best player he can be, and then seeing them excel, all right? But the complementary thing to that is when that happens, you have to be able to get the next man ready, all right? It can't be a next man attitude if you don't prepare the next man, okay? So that's part of it here. But I digress a little bit. Get back to this. Reduction technique. So you can see he's staying on his line, okay? Reduce the hitting surface. Reduce it. Initiate contact. He's not going away from it. Continue on your path. And then eyes to the near hip. Make a play on the ball carrier. Same thing here. This is Bear Woods, number 48, veteran player. You can see initiating contact, not going away from it. This is a first level or possibly second level block destruction. So again, reduce that hitting surface, stay on your track, make a play on the ball carrier. And you can see these guys changing levels as they go through. All right? Okay, this here, stem and butt side. Again, notice the stem, right? Don't just practice the butt side. You have to practice the stem. So 21 forward, all right, butt side is to the left as we look at it. Jab steps to the right. I would like to see a little bit more of a rip there, okay, but he does a decent job getting back on his level and then making a play on the ball carrier. He's making the blocker overextend. That blocker wants to set up on the half. He's having to go past it. Same thing on this one here. We'll see him later in the game rep. This is a rookie. This is Curly Gittins out of Laurier. All right, you can see him. The butt side now is to the right as we look at it. All right, he's stemming to the left. And then this is a good job ripping off, getting back on his line. Low center of gravity as he comes to balance. Eyes to the near hip, making a play on the ball carrier. So here we got the button press. Okay, so this one here, I'd like to see a little bit more lockout of the hand. All right, but he sheds off. He's within closed quarters now, going to the top cone. All right, shed the block, make a play on the ball carrier. All right, we also practice arm over and ripping off that block as well. Here's a defensive player doing it now. This is Ian Wild. Okay, so he is going through, and watch him here sink. Watch him sink into contact. Right there. Sink, dip. Now you've got some more explosion into the contact. Better job getting to extension. All right, shedding that block and making a play on the ball carrier. I do have to apologize for the film here, transitioning from one application to the other. So hopefully it'll continue. I think it might just be a Wi-Fi thing here. But check this out. Now we're doing stem and front side. Okay, this is Michael Alway, 51. See him stem. Look what it does to the blocker. See him stutter his feet? That's what you're looking for right there. And then it just turns into reduction. Again, you're repeating fundamentals over and over and over and over. Allow these guys to practice it. Back to 421 here. All right, so he's going stem and front side. So see the jab step? Look how it affects. This guy's only taking 2 or 3 steps anyways. All right, but see him stutter his feet? He might be going backside on me. Now you just rip off, use your reduction technique, and keep going down your path. And now this one here is change of pace. All right, and when I talk about change of pace players, they always get a kick out of it because I'll pick, one of the fastest guys on the team as an example, and I'll compare him to me. All right, probably the slowest guy in the ring. So now, speed is probably the top, if not one of the top, physical attributes for a football player. All right, but you have to understand this. When players can understand this, all right, stuff starts to click for them. We talk about all the time, we don't want players to be a line on a card. All right, that's part of that football knowledge and all that stuff. Just don't run downfield, okay, with blinders on, because on kickoff, your line is going there. All right, we want you to be able to manipulate and play with the opponent. So you can easily do that by changing your speed. Okay, so what I'll say is I'll take a fast guy, all right, and I'll say it doesn't matter if the opponent is blocking you or if he's blocking me. He will block our top speed just as well, because why? speed can be timed. Okay, speed can be timed. So just because you're faster than me, they'll be able to time that if you run the same pace all the time, over and over and over. So the key is to change the pace, all right, so that you're getting the opponent to stutter their feet, and now you can manipulate and use one of your skills. So this is a look at it here. Again, this is reduction, all right, but this is just adding a little bit of change of pace. So very simply, Gilchrist in this picture is starting slow, speeding up into contact. Okay, nothing fancy there, but it's not the same pace. Start slow, speed up. I would like to see a little bit more dip and rip into that, okay, to maintain our power base, because he's what? He's too tall. He's too tall, okay? So you're going to get knocked off balance, okay, when you're too tall into contact. So now we look at different things. Okay, how can we focus and practice these same techniques and give them different looks? So now we just put them in pairs. That's it. Still practicing reduction. First level here. Now we got two guys going at once. Okay, both doing a great job here, staying on their track. You see them running straight down the hash. Good dip from both players. All right, right arm reduction in this, making a play on the ball carrier. Next one here, change of pace reduction. Okay, so take a look at the bottom now. Number 5, Gabriel. Okay, he's going to start off fast, go slow, then he's going to go fast again. See if I can get this going for you. Here we go. So see it right there? He's starting off fast, slow down, speed up. Show it to you again. Starting fast, slow down, speed up. Look at the top. Okay, 85 right here. Little bit more of a change of pace here. Kind of exaggerated with the stride length, that sort of stuff. I don't necessarily want to see these guys skipping, you know, like that thing returners do all the time, where they think they're going to fool somebody with a big jump. Okay, I don't want you to leave the ground with it, all right? But I like the fact that he's working on changing the pace right there and still doing the base technique of reduction. Taking a look at this one here, and again, just pair them up, going stemming front side. Nothing fancy about this. There's nothing fancy about this. We just give them a different look. So at the top now, we've got the butt side would be to the right as we're looking at it, as the cover players looking at it. That would be more of a base block, okay? This here, the blocker is crossing your face to block you. So this may be more of a backside block, okay? But at the end of the day, they're still just doing the stemming front side, all right? But what if you can understand this, when a player on the backside of the kickoff return has to cross your face, then turn around and block you, now you can play with them a little bit, all right, on whether you're going to go butt side or front side, and you give them a different look every single time. This here, again, stem and butt side, okay? Just partners, nothing fancy about it, but look at the track. Starting on the inside of the hash, or on the outside of the hash, working to the inside, ripping off. I'd like to see 21 get more of a rip. Okay, better job from 7 up at the top. Okay, that's Woods in there that I referenced earlier. Okay, but again, it's still the same thing, just a different look. Now we can add the change of pace to it. Change of pace butt side. Okay, so down at the bottom, you can look at number 3. Okay, Darby, again, starting off fast, slowing down a little bit, and then you can see the overextension from the blocker on the bag, and then he's going butt side. What should he add here when he goes butt side? Add a rip, okay? You get the receiver at the top, okay? He's going a little bit of arm over. I don't coach an arm over because I'm more worried about if you're exposing your rib cage when players are covering off the ground, you can get hurt. So I'd like to see a little bit of a rip, okay? But he does a decent job with the head fake on the stem to go butt side right there. Now this is that button press. Remember how I said it relates to that 2-gap concept? Now, along with that is when you do the button press or any type of 2-gap, okay, you have to coach the guys hold the bag. You want them to hold the bag firm, okay? Because if they hold it loose, then it's going all over the place when you take the contact on, and it defeats the purpose of the drill. So Curly, number 80 at the top, he's doing a better job holding the bag tight as opposed to 3 Darby, okay, where it's a little bit loose, okay, because that's not helping the guy doing the drill. So you got to coach everybody in the drill. But what happens here? All right, these guys take on the blocker within close quarters, and to your question there, Coach Rumba, it turns into that 2-gap with the fighters in the alley. Okay, so these returners should delay a little bit more. They go early, but I did want to give you 2 different looks, because now you're taking the blocker and driving them right back into the returner. You can see both returners end up bumping into them. So we call it 2 gaps, and you're taking both away. Then the last progression we have is we do it in a circuit. Okay, so this is beautiful. Now the players understand it. This is a bit later in the season. Now you just let them roll and they can put their own spin on it. Okay, but this can be done in a quick 5 minutes. All right, the other thing about progressing your drills, you don't have to take time teaching new stuff every single practice. That all takes time. Okay, so we get it set up, the players roll through it. So we got 3 stations here. They might get a rep or 2, okay, of each, probably just 1 of each. All right, but on the left, we're starting there with stem and front side. We got the stem and back side. That's a quarterback doing that right there. He's also on our cover teams as well. And then you got a nice reduction here on the right side. You got a nice reduction on the right side. Try to get rid of this for you. Okay. Then we just switch up the looks. Again, it's a quick 5 minutes. Players are in and out. Okay. Give them different looks. Let them work both arms. That sort of thing there. Okay. And they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. So on the left side here, you got stem and butt side. In the middle, you got stem and front side. And on the right, you got change of pace reduction. So take a look at the change of pace here. Again, fast, slow, fast. Fast, slow, fast. Okay? And it could be slow, fast, faster. All right? But you just want to change the pace. In the last clip for practice, okay, now we got the left arm working with the reduction technique. Okay, change of pace there. We've got the stem and front side in the middle, and on the right side, you got stem and back, stem and butt side. Okay, so now these players have the fundamental understanding of the tactics. They understand why it's important. Okay, and they hone their skills. All right, they're hone their skills all season long. Now, I do have to apologize here. I try not to use film from other people in the room, but I didn't have all my film. So, sorry, Coach Hall. You guys beat us here, but we got a couple Winnipeg clips on here. Okay? Don Matthews. The coach I worked with, Corey McDermott, he worked for Don Matthews, legend. Hopefully a lot of you, if not everyone, is familiar with him. He used to talk about kickoff is all about attitude. I mean, he rarely even practiced kickoff from what I understand. Okay? He's more just run down field and mess stuff up. Know your role, know your job, and go and do it. Okay? But this right here is an example as it complements our score zone thing to the point where we put stuff like this on tape. Okay? Take a look at these guys, bodies on the floor. All right? They are messing stuff up downfield. We get a little bit of a reduction technique here, a low hand chop. Okay, and they'll make the play. But you can see everyone getting excited. Body control is not the greatest. We've got a couple D linemen going there, all right? But you can see that these guys are taking this, and they love the emphasis that we put on this kickoff to the extent that in the second half, we only won 4 games. We weren't the greatest team. But in the second half, all right, of the season, teams started electing to take the ball after field goals a lot more, okay? And our players were getting beat off that, right? They don't want to see any of our kickoff team, that sort of thing. All right. So now let's take a look at some of this here. So we got 84 doing stem or 84, sorry, 80, 84 and 27 doing the reduction. They're at the 1 and the 3 spot. So take a look here. This is change of pace. Ball hits the ground. See him slow down a little bit. See him slow down, speed up, messes the timing on the wedge, doesn't it? Slow down, speed up. He's getting through there. Check out the work at the B3 spot, running down the numbers. Okay, reduce the hitting surface. Stay on your track. Make it small, stay on your track. He ends up getting through 2, okay, and then he's over top, that ball squirts loose. Taking a look at the 2 spot, all right? Here's a little bit of stem and butt side. Think you're going outside, stem okay? Timing's messed up. These three are beasts to deal with into the boundary. That lets an unblocked player to the field side come across with a big hit, okay? People are getting excited for that, and that's the score zone win, because that's on or inside the minus 25-yard line. Reduction from 94, again, you'll see a lot of them on purpose. I'd like to promote him as much as I can. Hope he gets a nice fat contract. All right, but here he's coming. He's at the 2 spot here, staying on his track. Okay, reduce the hitting surface right there. We got a little bit of a game going on here, some twists. Okay, I told you that he led the league in special teams tackles as a defensive end. He probably missed just as many as he made as well. Okay, if he had a little bit more body control, all right, he might be in the NFL just the special teams alone. Okay, but you can see that move right there. Check out just outside the hash here. All right, stem and front side. Stem and go front side. Make him think you're going backside. Turn it back into a front side move. Little jab step, heading on. Reduce the hitting surface, rip right through. You get a little button press, and he's in on the tackle as well. Okay, reduction versus double teams. Okay, I told you having to defeat double teams all year. This is a little bit more of a chip, okay, on a high level, and then going on to the second level as well. So, again, coming at the 2 spot here, running down just outside the numbers, okay. You got one guy chipping them, reduce the hitting surface. Reduce the hitting surface again, carry on your path, all right, he messes with the timing. You can see, why is he reacting like that? He missed the tackle, and where did he miss the tackle? In the score zone, okay? So he knows right there, that should be a score zone win, okay? But you can see his reaction to that as well. Did I miss one there? Nope, good. Okay, stem and butt side from 84, okay? So we talked about containing the football. So they expect you to stay outside as a 1, okay? But you can go inside with the stem and butt side as long as you contain the football. So what we coach is if you're going to do that, you better darn well be able to get back outside to do your job. And communicate with your teammates. Let the feather player know that you are going to go inside and that he'll be in a position out there to make sure nothing pops up. So he's faking outside, stem and butt side on the inside, and then you can see the 2 gap here, driving it all the way into the backfield, clogging the lane up. There's nowhere to go. All right, and we make that tackle. So this is that rookie I talked to you about, Curly Gittens. All right, he's a guy who understood that you need to stand out on special teams in order to play on offense, and he's turned that into more playing time later in the season as a rookie receiver. Okay, but here he's coming down from the 6th spot here. All right, and he's going against number 49, James Tuck from Edmonton, who might be their best special teams player. So we got a rookie versus a veteran, all right, and you can see his technique, stem it out inside and go outside. Stem, butt side, all right, and he makes the tackle for a score zone win, all right, that's a raw rookie versus a veteran, okay, stem and butt side for 99, okay, so he's at the 1 spot here. Now, the other thing I want to draw your attention to is your technique will also be used to draw penalties, okay? So we talked about this. We want the players, the blockers, to get out of their frame. So you can see he's doing a good job weaving down here, okay? Fakes to the outside, a little bit of a stem, change of pace, goes butt side, all right? And now number 2 has to reach outside his frame. We draw a holding penalty there, okay, and that turns into a score zone win. So when you get good at your technique, you can use it to draw penalties from the opponent. We go button press here from 94, okay, so he's running down the numbers, and I want you to see the relationship with the guy in the 4 spot as well, okay? So now, check out what's happening here. He's running through, button press, shedding, making a play on the ball carrier. But what's 24 trying to do? He's trying to get over for a double team, isn't he? Okay? Why can't he get there? Because we coach our guys at the 4 spot here, never let a player from the kickoff return team cross your face to go and block somebody else. So what he does here, he gets a shot on 24 right there, not a lot, just enough to mess up the timing of the double team, and now it's those two executing their technique that make the tackle here for another score zone win. Button press again from 94. So this is one of my favorite clips from the year. Look at the work this man put on tape. Okay, so he's coming down from the 3 spot. This is Beltray again. All right, watch him take his man and drive him all the way into the return. Okay, he's driving him 10 or 12 yards. Look at feet. Feet continue always, never stop. They're always turning. He turns that into a 2 gap. Okay, and that's a phenomenal play right there. Check out 44, Ian Watt. He's running down in between the ads and the numbers right here. Okay, stem, butt side. Doing a decent job weaving, but he's going stem and butt side right there. All right, Coach Shep talked a lot of last year about being in the 4-1 club and your best Usain Bolt. We didn't have a lot of Usain Bolts on our special teams. Okay, I don't think we have, and this is not, I don't think we have one single 4-1 downfield. Beltray is usually the first guy downfield, all right, and he's a D lineman. Okay, so we have to give these guys different tools because we missed a little bit on the speed aspect. So we're doing a good job weaving, stemming, and butt side right there. He's over top of the play. Should that ball carrier squirt loose right there. Okay, stemming front side. Again, I just got a couple more here. So again, drawing the penalty. This is 38, Declan Cross coming down the numbers. Okay, so he's going to stem. You guys tell me what's he missing on this stem and front side right here. No rip. Okay, so we want to add the rip. Okay, but what it does, again, messes with the timing of the blocker. He's having to reach outside his frame. We draw a penalty. We talk about players complaining about being held. I don't want to hear anything from a player, coach, I'm being held. All right, what we talk about is what are you doing, number one, to prevent getting held as a risk, okay? And number two, what are you doing to get off that hold? There's holding on every single play, independent of position, okay? So the coaching point here would be we want to see him add that risk, but we still draw the penalty. Take a look at 27 and 94. Here's 27. See him reduce the hitting surface, stay on his track, okay, good rip, a little button press right there, and he would make that tackle if we were able to clog up the lane right there. Okay, 94 is putting in work, defeating another double team there as well. Talked about the backside of the play. Here's the 6 spot right here. This is Joe Chris 54. We teach them their reads, okay, among those or take a look at the path and the pace of the field side guys. If they're slower, okay, taking the time getting over, the field returner is lagging a little bit, you're thinking what? Field return. We've got another indicator here at the end crossing. So we do a good job recognizing that. Then what does he do? Slows down. Look what happens when he slows down. Look at the cover or the blocker as he slows down. He slows his speed. We're able to continue on after we change our pace right there, shut that down, the boundary side guys make the tackle. Okay? This might be the last one right here. I just want to show you the change of pace from 44, Ian Wild, okay, from the sideline view. So you can see, starting off fast, going slow. Now watch his reaction. See his reaction? As soon as Ian got that reaction, he increased his speed. And the only thing left for the blocker to do is to react in that case, okay? And he's reacting and taking them to the ground. The ball squeaks out from where he would be. We draw the penalty. That gets pushed back there as well. So that's from my message to you guys. Hopefully you can take something from that. Make sure you guys have a plan, okay? And you think about the handful of tactics. Doesn't be a lot. Doesn't matter if it's offense, defense, special teams, any position. But think about ways that you can progress through the season, allow your players to perfect this stuff right here, and then they will take it over. All right. I love this stuff here. The Get Better Together, we talked about that last year. Love the fact you're all here. We're able to talk some ball. If you need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me there, dmajackson@yahoo.com. And if I can help you out in any way or just have questions, I'd love to talk to you. Does anyone have any questions before I end this right now?
I do.
Yes.
About practice time. How much time did you get in practice for special teams? And obviously, you said you ran that drill every session that you had.
Not every session, but a lot. Okay, so we would get about, trying to think, 20 minutes or so. Okay, so we
day 2, day 3.
Yeah. So we got about 20 minutes. We had kind of 3 or maybe 2 7-minute sessions and 1 5-minute session. So we would do our skills in that 5 minutes and we go. And then the odd day might be a little more, a little less. Okay, but it's not a lot. What was different this year than past years is we didn't have 10-minute periods or 15-minute periods, so we had to be quick. Okay, and that's where this progression of players know what they're doing. They're able to do that. So if we had, say, a 7 minute for scheme and a 5 minute for individual, maybe we did that twice on some days. Sometimes it might just be 1 fundamental and 2 scheme periods. Yep. Awesome. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your night.